Hey guys, welcome back to the Drama Drop. We have a lot to talk about. We have arrests, we have Vanity Fair hit pieces, we have Love Island recouplings, and we have Summer House bonus episode, all to discuss right here. So go ahead, get cozy, and listen up. Let's get into the episode.
Hey friends, this is the Drama Drop, because somebody has to talk about it.
All right, guys, I'm just going to be upfront with you. We have way too much to go over today for me to even bore you with the personal details of my life. Like, there has just been story left, right, front, and center, backwards, forwards. So I'm just going to go ahead and just dive right into that because I know that's really why you guys are here anyway. So first and foremost, I really have to say the Giudice family, they're really making legal drama part of the family business. Let me tell you, when I saw that Melania Giudice got arrested, I hate to say that I wasn't shocked. Is that rude of me? I don't know. I mean, as we all know, the Giudices, they are not in unfamiliar territory when it comes to the law. You know, Teresa, Joe Giudice, they both have been arrested for fraud. So if you don't know anything about the Giudice family, let me just back up for a small little sec. Real Housewives of New Jersey, okay? That's where this whole family started from. And Teresa Giudice is basically just like the face of Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I must say, the New Jersey franchise is my favorite of the Real Housewives. Like, I have watched that season over and over and over, like, so many times. Like, oh man, I wish I could watch it for the first time again. Like, that would be a dream. I think that would be one of my 3 wishes that I would ask for. But so they are part of the Real Housewives of New Jersey franchise, okay? And Teresa Giudice, Joe Giudice, they were married, and we watched, you know, them flourish and then not flourish, okay? They got into some huge legal trouble that ultimately landed both of them in prison, and Joe Giudice deported back to Italy. They ended up getting a divorce. Teresa's now remarried to this man named Louis, which I don't know about him really. Like, he just seems sketch in itself. But anyways, she has 4 daughters. Okay, if you know, you know. It's daughters, not daughters around here. And Melania, she if any of her daughters were gonna get arrested, all right, like, I'll say it. I'm not shocked that it's Melania. Okay. If you know anything about their family or the daughters, okay, she is the feistiest one. She's always loud, boisterous, has an opinion. Like, she's going to tell you what she thinks. Just a lot more aggressive. And when I say aggressive, I don't mean like physically in terms of like we were just watching her do all these crazy things on the show. She just was very loud and very made her presence known. The others are a lot more quiet, more reserved. I mean, you have Gia, who's the oldest, and she's sassy, but it's more like with her words, like a sharp tongue, not really like high energy, that kind of personality. You know, I feel like Melania is definitely like middle child stereotype. So this isn't really shocking by any means. And so when this first dropped, I mean, we didn't have a lot of information as to why this whole arrest took place. And I mean, I needed more for sure, but as the week has gone on, now there's all this speculation and alleged reasoning as to why this story is out, why this is even a thing. And if this is true, this is a whole nother level of crazy that I never thought I would think that is possible. So, but first let's go to like why she was arrested. Okay. She was like arrested. It was a simple assault allegedly causing bodily injury. So in what authorities classified as a domestic violence related incident. So that's literally all we know really for sure. I mean, she's going to appear later in court, but we don't have really the details and all that. Anyways, so now there's just buzz going on social media as to what might have been the cause or why this is now circulating, going on the internet, all that. Okay, so Real Housewives of New Jersey, I guess they have started filming for their new season. And the lore of Teresa Giudice, okay, like I said, she's been front and center since season 1. Like, she is queen of New Jersey. And every single season it centers around her. You know, I feel like most franchises, there's usually kind of a rotation as to who's kind of taking like the front seat of the drama or where the storylines are surrounding and everything like that. But one thing that I really loved about the Real Housewives of New Jersey franchise is that it was very much centered around family or long-standing friendships. It wasn't like these random group of women, you know, kind of picked in casting and then forced to become like a friendship. There was just a lot more history, a lot more at stake with this group of women. But Teresa Giudice, you know, she was season 1 and just really made her mark. And, you know, she just, you either love her or you hate her. I've always been a huge fan of Teresa. I don't know what it is about her. I love her. But so one of the reasons, you know, people could just really dislike her is a lot of her lore and drama with the show is she had a lot of family drama with her brother and sister-in-law, Melissa Gorga, and then her brother, Joe Gorga, basically trying to like come in, take the spotlight, all that. Well, after all of these years of just drama, fighting, accusations, and just the constant back and forth of hating one another and taking jabs at each other, they've made amends. Like apparently, like things are good. Like there is no drama going on between them. There's no bad blood. Like they are on the same side. And that has not happened in a single season. And then also Margaret Josephs, who came on later, was her main nemesis, you know, of just having issues with, and she's not coming back. So basically, what it boils down to is that Teresa does not have a storyline. And she's like, all right, how do we get a storyline? Again, this is all alleged, but basically, you know, filming wasn't happening at the time of this arrest, but her near and dear husband, who just is like going to come save the day, Louis, decides to leak this story out. So now there's a storyline. There could be a storyline. And I mean, again, this is just all alleged. We don't know, but basically kind of just to stir some buzz, get the cameras to kind of record the aftermath of the arrest and, you know, what's going to be taking place in court. And then there's also talks of that the altercation is between Melania and Louis. That's her stepdad, Teresa's husband. It could have been something of there was an altercation between Teresa and Louis and Melania stepped in. And if so, you know, like that's just her daughter protecting the mom. And yeah, so like I said, there's really not much. But when I saw this, I was like, that tracks. That tracks. Out of all the Giudice daughters, Melania would be the one to be arrested. I'm going to say it. I know you're thinking it, but I'm here to say it. And yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious to know if it actually has anything to do with Louis. If that's the case, Joe Giudice, I'm sure he's going to hop on a plane from Italy immediately back to the U.S. to fight. I don't know. Joe Gorga, you know, her uncle, Teresa's brother, I'm sure he's not happy. Again, there's just not really much to go off of. I just hope that that's not true. If it is something for a storyline and it's not like what as extreme as it is, like if there's just some sort of misunderstanding or whatever, and if it's for a storyline, you do it too for a check, right? Teresa, she's a businesswoman at the end of the day, whether it's fair business, clean business, that part is none of my business, but she's a businesswoman at the end of the day, and she's going to provide entertainment whichever way that is seen fit. And let's just say if, you know, this is part of a storyline, hopefully Melania was on board to be front and center, put in the fire of all of this drama and press and having eyes on her for being arrested. Kind of crazy to take that leap, take that risk for it. But, you know, I don't know anything about Real Housewives' lives. And yeah, I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do to keep the people interested, to keep the storyline going. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully there'll be some more that I can share back with you all, but that is literally all I know as of right now. And it's not even factual at this given time. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't really think a lot of people were shocked that that happened because they're no strangers to it. In further news, Vanity Fair, they dropped an article, they dropped their little hit piece. And honestly, I did the free trial. I read it. At the end of it, I really just had a question, and that was, who is the real daddy at the Unwell Network? Because it didn't seem to be like Alex Cooper, I must say. And I hate to say that, but that's really what it boils down to. And here's my next thing. I hate to say this as well, but a little too late, dare I say. I mean, when I saw this, I've been waiting for this to come out. You know, like there was talks of, okay, Vanity Fair is going to do this article. It's going to talk about the Unwell Network and everything that is going on. And we're going to get some more groundbreaking news. But hate me for this, I was kind of bored reading the article. I got to be completely honest. I was really bored. I thought, oh, that was what it, and not to say that it wasn't newsworthy or that I was like, oh, that's it, as if it wasn't a big deal. But I think once the moment dropped between Alex Earl and Alex Cooper and all of their beef and things like, oh, what's the buzz? Like, why is there so much beef? And then you started getting story after story after TikTok after Instagram comment of people talking about how terrible Matt Kaplan is at the Unwell Network. Then this doesn't seem like anything that interesting because we've kind of heard it all. I've tried to watch every single TikTok story about, let me tell you about the time that I worked at Unwell Network. Let me tell you about the time that I applied at Unwell Network. Let me tell you about the time I interviewed with Matt Kaplan. Like, we got so many of those. So like, this wasn't anything groundbreaking or jaw-dropping. I'm so sorry to Vanity Fair, whoever wrote that article. I know that there's the name on there somewhere, but I'm sure you did a lot of hard work and I appreciate you for it, but you got to pick it up. You got to be a little bit faster because now we're snoozed. I feel like we just don't care. Like, you didn't bring anything new to the table really, other than just like validating, I guess, other people's stories. And again, you can only take a hit piece with a grain of salt because we don't know. We are just taking what these sources are saying. Like, we have no source by name. There's like over 40 sources. Some are current employees, some are former. We're just going to have to take what this is at face value, or we're expected to take this at face value, but like, I don't know all of the validity to it. You know what I mean? We don't have Alex Cooper or Matt Kaplan making any sort of remarks regarding this article. Like, there is no rebuttal. There's not even an acknowledgement that it even exists. They're just going on about their day. They are moving forward with business as usual. You know, Alex is pregnant. Like, that's her main concern. Like, they're off living their life, like not even giving this a thought. And dare I say, again, like, this just came out a little bit too late. Like, had this been sped up, like, I think there were talks that this article was going to come out way sooner. Like, it was already in the works. But I think with Alex Earl, you know, and that dropping the drama of like reposting that TikTok, I think that could have ruined Vanity Fair's plans. And that kind of sucks because had all that not gone on, yeah, this would have been a lot more juicy in my opinion. But unfortunately for Vanity Fair and for us as consumers, it kind of fell flat. And I mean, so like I said, I applied for the not applied, I don't know why I'm saying apply. I signed up for the free trial for Vanity Fair because I'm like, oh, this is behind a paywall. Like, this must really be good. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to have to rely on others to post screenshots in a Reddit thread or have to wait to hear like another podcast, like talk about it to get all the details. Like, I really wanted to read it from the front to the back, start to finish. Like, I wanted to consume every single word to see like really what this article is about. And yeah, at the end of the day, it really just seems like Matt Kaplan is the real daddy at the Unwell Network because he's calling the shots. He's and I'm speaking as if this article is factual, by the way. So let's just take that this article is factual. It's all alleged, but that's how I'm speaking. And you know, he's the enforcer. He's like putting in fear in people, telling people how things need to get done. I mean, you just basically are getting the gist of like, he's just makes the working environment not comfortable. He is rude to his employees. He's asking very inappropriate questions to the employees, like, oh, what'd you do this weekend? Did you hook up with anybody? Oh, how was it? And, that's just really weird. First of all, you don't want to talk about that with your boss. Like how uncomfortable. And it's just like a volatile mix. Like people were walking on eggshells around him. And, he's even made comments about people's appearance. So it's just this was already said. So it's just kind of, again, there wasn't really too much shock. There was a comment in there on that, but apparently that's debunked. Apparently Dubois debunked this, but there was a statement in there that said that apparently, so Matt Kaplan's dating history, I guess he used to be married to Claire Holt. I guess he had dated Ashley Olsen. There was one other person in there. But I guess there was an employee that had the same name as one of his exes and told this employee, like, we're going to call you something else because we are not going to have you have the same name as one of my exes. Apparently that's debunked, but that was one that I was like, that is actually insane. If that is true, I really hope not, because like, you saw that employee's name when you were hiring them, I'm sure. If that was really a thing, just put them on, like move them out of the way. They are not a candidate. But I don't know. That just seems so ridiculous to me that cannot be true. And I'm just wondering, where is Alex in all of this? Because also too, within the article, it's talking about how he is acting like this in front of Alex and she's just kind of standing by and letting it happen. And so, the article, it's kind of layered in a sense of like, it was mainly focusing on how terrible Matt Kaplan is. But when you peel back the onion, you look under the hood, it's kind of like, okay, Alex, you're talking about uplifting women being in power, being in charge of businesses, being the CEO, being the head honcho, not letting a man take control, but you are just letting your husband run the show. And yeah, like there is a difference in being partners and making mutual business decisions. But then there's another way of, when you treat people terribly and it's like, oh, do you want to be that girl that's just not only letting your husband like run over everybody and handle everything and make these executive decisions, but also treating people terribly? Like, let's just say he was making a lot of decisions. He was being the head person at the table, signing the dotted line or whatever at the end of the day. But if he's treating people with respect and dignity, I feel like then this would not even be a thing. Like it wouldn't even matter. And it would be like, yeah, whatever. Like that's her husband. He's been in this kind of industry for a really long time. He's kind of just like leading the way. But it wouldn't be such like oh, Alex, what about this whole women empowerment thing? Where are you now? Where is your voice? Like you're so quick to talk behind a mic and to the camera about telling people how, or women specifically, how they need to treat themselves and put themselves on a pedestal and like not let X, Y, and Z happen. Meanwhile, you are the center of that within your own business. So it's just really crazy, for all of that to happen and for there to be so much fear into these employees. Like there were reports in the article saying that, like they were reaching out to people to kind of share their experiences and they were so worried to share their experience because they thought it was probably like a plant from Matt and Alex to, kind of get this person in trouble for whatever. So there you go. It's like these people aren't even working there anymore and their fear of rebuttal from Matt Kaplan and Alex Cooper was just like so high that they didn't even want to talk to Vanity Fair. But yeah, like if you have Matt Kaplan going around saying like, I will ruin you in this industry, I will, basically take you down. Like, yeah, I'm sure you're absolutely terrified. Like, why would anybody want to work there? I would really love for there to be some deeper dive into what is going on into that business. And, yeah, I don't know. But like I said, we have not had a single rebuttal from Alex Cooper. And I think what we've learned from all of this, at least from Alex Cooper, is that she knows when to speak and when to not. And just what happened with the whole Alex Earl thing, it's like this became like a huge thing. It was on all of the timelines, every single TikTok blowing up. And she just maneuvered as normal And then it went quiet. We stopped talking about it. No one cared. I woke up not thinking about it. And I moved on. And then now it's just dropped again with this Vanity Fair. Granted, I just don't think it has as much heat as Vanity Fair probably would have liked. Reasons that I've already spoken about is that, you know, it's just kind of been put to bed. Like nothing in here was shocking or really new. But yeah, I just think, I don't know. It's just, if this is true, then we can't call Alex daddy anymore. And I'll say that. I also have to say another thing. I don't have the exact quote. I wish I did. But if this quote is accurate, this alone would have been reason for divorce, in my opinion, because this is the weirdest, most ick thing to say ever. So it's like, I don't know what he was trying to get at. I don't know if he thought he was cool when he said this, but I read this and I was like, that's laughable. That's disgusting. Divorce immediately. He stands in and, you know, he's basically just kind of telling everybody, like, you know, because the huge thing also too with Alex Cooper, it's like, we don't stand for mean girls. Like there's no mean girl mentality around here. Like that's just not it. And give or take, this is around like what the quote it was saying of Matt was basically like, there are no mean girls. Like I'm the mean girl around here. Like I'm the meanest of the mean girls around here. But calling himself a mean girl, which is so not it. That is not hot. No, I don't know. I don't like that at all. That's so weird. And I'm not saying like, I don't even like that in terms of like, oh, that's so mean. That's so crazy for him to say these employees. I'm just saying of it as in terms of like, ew. Like, did you think you ate with that statement? Like, that is so weird. Like, if I ever heard my husband say, I'm the meanest girl here. I'm the meanest of the mean girls. What are we talking about? Disgusting. So like I said, that should have been grounds for divorce right there. That would have been like, I don't know. I'm hoping that quote was unironic, you know, or I'm hoping it was ironic. Sorry, I take that back. I intermixed that. I'm hoping that was said as a joke and we just got a very incorrect version of like what the dialect and the context was. So yeah, but I really don't think anything else is really going to come from this. I think this is just kind of a died down subject. I think we're over it. I mean, like I said, the article came out. There just really wasn't much buzz about it. I mean, there's just been a couple people that have made remarks on it, but I just don't think anything more is coming for this. So if you're expecting that, I wouldn't hold your breath. I'm not holding my breath unless I get some sort of like physical, like security footage of hearing a conversation go down, seeing some sort of action. I'm just bored and I'm tired. Or if there's going to be a specific person that's going to do like a sit down interview talking about their experience from the beginning to end, whatever, just with some more tangible proof other than a source's quote. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't care, you know? Okay. All right, moving on. All right. Okay. So I know how I talked about last week that I was really trying with Love Island and, you know, only thing more shocking than a bombshell entering the villa is me entering the villa. And by that, I mean starting Love Island. Okay, I recorded the pod and, you know, I gave my whole rant of like, I just don't know how I'm going to do this. I just don't see how this is possible. I just can't get behind it. And not that I can't get behind it. Like, I understand like the lore, you know, like the appeal to people. I just don't know how I was going to be able to manage that on top of everything else, given like how much goes into Love Island. Anyways, record the podcast. I get off of, doing that. And then later on, I go to my bar workout class. And one of the instructors there, she's like, she knows that I'm into reality TV. She's into reality TV. Honestly, she makes me feel kind of like a fraud with reality TV because she's like, do you watch this? Do you watch this? Do you watch this? And I'm literally like, no, no, no. But let me tell you, like, there's so much reality TV content out there and I'm trying, you guys. But anyways, she was like, have you watched Love Island yet? Have you started it? And she's like the 10th person at this point to like specifically ask me directly, have I started it yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't. She's like, Morgan, like you need to. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. So I came home. I told my husband, I was like, all right, we just really have to view that. Like, this is a job, like we have to start this. Like we're not so far behind that we can't catch up. And we just really need to put our focus and our energy in it. And I feel like we can do it. We need to get past the whole music video debacle because that is something that was still just so crazy to me. Like, I just couldn't even believe that I was watching that on my screen. Like, that is even part of the show, that is even a segment. Like, that's a requirement. Like, if I were to be a contestant and you told me that I had to kind of do some like music video situation, I'm out. I'm exiting the villa immediately. Like, I'm leaving the island. So anyways, we got some good food and we were like, we're going to put all of our everything into it because I was like, I need to like really just think about this for a second. When Netflix drops like a series, like Perfect Match or Love is Blind or whatever, they immediately drop like 5 episodes. And me and my husband, we have no issue binging those episodes and just going after it. And then we're done. It's like, oh, what's next? Like, we're waiting for the next segment of episodes to drop. So I was like, we just got to start now. We just got to view it as like, we just need to binge these episodes and then we'll get caught up because, there's going to be a point in time where there's no point of return. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot catch up. So after my rant of everything that I'm just explained to you, what I'm trying to say is I am caught up on Love Island. I am caught up. I get it. I understand the appeal. I understand why people are into it and sinking their teeth into it and getting invested. I get it. I am here now. And I'm really glad that I joined the island. I am a Love Islander. I don't know what the name is for everybody, but yeah, I'm here for it and I'm ready to talk about it. I have opinions. And first, I do want to say in terms of the format, because I know I kind of complained about that last time with it being a lot. And I take that back. And here's my thoughts as to why. I actually really appreciate the format of having a new episode every night. I appreciate this being kind of like in real time show. The only other show that I know that does that is Big Brother and I guess Survivor, but I don't watch Survivor, but I'm a huge Big Brother fan. I know that is happening in real time. So I appreciate that this is happening in real time. And what I'm also thinking too, it's like, oh, producers, editors, whatever, they can get an episode out real quick. This almost makes me think that they could do this with almost any show. You know what I mean? Like almost any reality show now could be in real time. Granted, I know that they want to almost see everything so they can kind of navigate a storyline, whatever, but like this is just so much better. So anyways, so the format. Okay, so I know that there's kind of like 2 nights you have off. Like I think Wednesdays, there's no episode. And then Saturday is like after sun. So you don't really have to watch that as part of the show. So you kind of get 2 nights off. But I appreciate this being in real time and there being a new episode every night because you're not releasing all of the show at once. So you're not binging it. And then it's like, now what? Or if people haven't gotten caught up to be able to binge 7-10 episodes in a row, and then they're seeing all these spoilers. It's like you're either in it or you're not. And there's like some buffer of some days, like Wednesday. It's a great night to catch up if you haven't, because there's a night off. Same with Saturday. So it's like, it gives you a little bit of buffer, but also it's like, there's not just dumping and waterboarding you with episodes for you to just kind of feel like you're drowning and like trying to catch up or stay on top of it before the next set of episodes or before you see any spoilers on social media, podcasts, whatever. So I actually really do appreciate that there is one every night with some breaks in between in case you need a little buffer. That's actually very smart. And yeah, I love it. And then it's something for you to look forward to every night. You get like one little episode. That's so great. And again, that it's in real time. So it's not like all of this has already been lived on months prior. It's great. I'm a huge fan of that. And yeah, so as I said, this is my first season. So I have thoughts, I have opinions, I still have questions. I am watching this with fresh set of eyes. I have no prior season knowledge, okay? I still don't really fully get like the challenges really kind of confuse me. Some of the formatting confuses me of recoupling and voting. And I'm now hearing this term, which I haven't really heard of before up until just like recently, of like closed off, soul ties, like some of these things like I'm still trying to pick up on. So just take that with what you will. I'm a newbie here. So anyways, I'm not going to go completely all the way from the beginning because that just would be insane. So we'll start from right now. My thoughts and opinions have changed from the beginning, like on these people. And so that's super interesting. So we'll just like kick it off with the love letter challenge, okay? Which these challenges are absolutely insane, okay? Can you imagine you like years later and your daughter or son, more specifically your daughter, not to just like really pinpoint it on one gender, but they tell you that they want to go on Love Island? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like that is just crazy work. Like this show is actually insane. I watch this and I'm just like, how is this allowed on TV? How are these people comfortable doing this? I mean, I guess that's just the nature of the show, but it's just not a typical love show. Just like the way these challenges are, like the way everybody is just so sexual, so sexualized, all of them making out. And I'm just like, how are their mouths not raw? Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't get it. So the challenges are just really interesting to me because it's either they're just like very sexual or just very, putting yourself in an uncomfortable position, or like you have to watch like who you're coupled up with in an uncomfortable position with somebody else. Like it's just such a bizarre thing to me. So honestly, like the love letter challenge, like that was the tamest challenge physically, not so much mentally, because you're having to see if your person that you're coupled up with even feels the same feelings for you back. But I gotta say, I mean, they weren't shocking. Like the results were not shocking. Everything was pretty much predictable. Obviously, I was super anxious for when it got to Kenzie and Sincere because we knew, I mean, I'm just guessing this is not a shock or a surprise, but like we knew that those were going to be the two that were probably going to get 2 letters. And then so it was almost going to be like, all right, which one did they go with? Which route did they go with? So everything was pretty much predictable. And did they actually feel that way? Like I'm looking at Casey and Anaya. It's like, did Casey actually feel so much love for Anaya and like he wanted to pour his heart out to her? I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're having feelings, but it also is somewhat strategic. So it's like, who else is he going to give this letter to? But I just like wasn't buying the letter that he gave her after we're sitting here and we're watching him like contemplating his connection with her and saying that she's boring and she's kind of giving grandma vibes and she's way too serious and he wants to explore something with soul. So I'm supposed to sit and take this seriously, that he's writing his love letter to Anaya, and it's very clear like she's really into him, but they're trying to like match energies. And it was up until recently that I was like, oh my gosh, like I love these two together because they weren't paired by choice. It was just kind of how the cards fell, how the deck landed for them. But I felt like they've really made it work because, sometimes it's just like you don't really know who you're going to mesh with or whatever. So it was just kind of like, okay, like they started off with just that was how the numbers fell. They didn't pick each other, but, whatever, we can make it work. And then it seemed like there was like a friendship, and then, friendship growing into what seemed to be more of a connection, more love, whatever. But yeah, up until recently, it was just kind of like a switch of, oh, Anaya's getting like inkling that, oh, like he's just picking me because it's a safe option. Like he wants to stay on this island I'm not necessarily somebody that he would go for, wants to stay with, or whatever, build even further of a connection with. He's just staying with me because it's safe. So obviously that's making Anaya question everything. And rightfully so. You know, she's just getting interesting vibes from KC. So I don't know. I don't know how we're supposed to watch some of these challenges and just be like for these people when it's like we're seeing them question each other moments before, and it's like, oh, your love letter is to Anaya. But at the end of the day, who else was he going to put his letter in? You know what I mean? Like, he hadn't had enough time to spend with other people for it to make sense to give a love letter to. But I don't know. I think that's just, for this challenge specifically, it was just kind of hard because I'm like, okay, a love letter, like, that's so sweet. Like, that's so just like, aw. And you're trying to do something that's like sweet and aw when moments before you're kind of like trash talking Anaya and being in a relationship with her. And anyways, so that's just what I have to say about that. When he was getting all smirky, like smiley, when Anaya was reading the letter that he wrote to her, I was like, I just want to slap that smile off of your face. I don't know. It was so annoying. I've been noticing his smirk a lot more and his little smiles when like they just seem so, I don't know, like something sneaky underneath it. And I just hate that because I really enjoyed them as a couple earlier on. Now, not so much. And I don't know, that smirk is really pissing me off, I gotta say. And it's just kind of like, he's like, yeah, like I did that. Or I don't know. I don't really know. It's just kind of, I hate the smirk. I hate the smile. Anyways, we're going to move on to Kenzie. God, Kenzie. She's another one that's fallen from grace for me because I wasn't sure how I felt about her at first. She seemed a lot, and I didn't really like how she was kind of mopey in the beginning of like, oh my God, like none of these guys want to match with me. I'm not used to that. That's so annoying to say. But you know, I looked past it and then I started to really like her. Like, you know, she's kind of like bubbly, quirky, just kind of not, I don't know, doesn't seem like all there. Like, all the crayons in the box, there's a light bulb that's dimmed, something of that nature. But anyways, now she's really starting to piss me off because she, you know, we get this bombshell, Caleb, and America votes for Caleb to be paired with Kenzie. Kenzie's sitting here, you know, Caleb is walking in and she's like, oh my gosh, he's my type. Like, he's so cute, like cowboy, like Southern gentleman, basically gassing him up, being so like giddy about him, and then is pissed off that America is putting them together, and she doesn't really want to give that a fair shot, and it's just so infuriating. Like, this Caleb guy, he just seems so sweet. He seems like such a Southern gentleman. He's like really trying, and he's being understanding too, you know, like, America, we like separated Kenzie and Corbin, which I never know what the heck Corbin's saying, by the way. That the deepness, like, I feel like he's really trying to talk out of his throat, and I need him to stop. Just have a normal tone, whatever. I can't with Corbin's voice. I really, truly can't. But anyways, she's hung up on Corbin. We separated them, whatever. She's now paired with Caleb. But again, she was happy about Caleb coming in. And Caleb is being so sweet. He's like, I mean, I get it. Like, she didn't choose to be with me. She got put in this position. Like, I can't be upset for her to still like want to go off and like talk to Corbin and, you know, whatever. And I will say, like, Kenzie is being very forthcoming and saying, like, you know, I still have feelings for Corbin. I still want to explore that connection. Like, doesn't mean I don't want that with you, whatever. But I just feel like she isn't really fully giving Caleb any sort of chance whatsoever. Like, there hasn't been a day that she didn't sneak off with Corbin, making out secretly and all of that. And it's just like, I don't know what the appeal is for Corbin. I'll be so for real. Like, when he walked in and all the girls went insane, I thought I was like missing somebody. Am I looking at the correct person? Like, this is not just like a looks thing. It's just like a personality, looks, like whatever. Like, I am not seeing it. I don't understand the charm. I don't know if it's just because like you're in such a small bubble that whatever's new coming in, it's like the shiny toy. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to play with the toy. I want to play with the toy. And that's the appeal. But for the fascination, I mean, I feel like everybody else that was so just like, oh my God, Corbin, they moved on and Kenzie didn't and whatever. But, you know, so it was really going to be down to, okay, who is she going to give this letter to, Corbin or Caleb? And of course, she really pissed me off and she gave it to Corbin. And that's so annoying. I feel like I was so heartbroken for him. Caleb looked so sad. I don't know. I wish I could be like, oh my God, yay, they're back together, but I'm not. I'm really not. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of them. I just don't think it's real. Like, I just don't know how she's sitting here and saying, oh yeah, I really have this strong, deep connection. Like, no, girl, like, you're just physically attracted to him and he's got like this bad boy energy and there's just like some tension there and you're DJing under the blankets and like, that's what's keeping you interested. If you really want somebody with love who's probably going to treat you right or whatever, Caleb would have been the guy. And also too, you were talking about, oh my gosh, he's like my type, my everything. And you just don't even want to give him the time of day. Whatever, moving on. I just don't like that. Like, that was just really dumb. And I just need her to think a little bit more. But in return of that, it's like, okay, who is Corbin going to give his letter to? Because he's paired with Melanie at this time. But it's like, so is he going to give it to who he's coupled up with? Or is he going to give it, reciprocate to Kenzie? He did, whatever. Anyways, they're now back to being a couple. Okay. Shocker, spoiler alert. Now we get to Sincere. And the whole thing with Sincere is he's in a love triangle himself. You know, he was matched up with Melanie for a really long time. Then we have Soul coming in. She's a bombshell. Well, America, we split Melanie and Sincere up. So he's now with Soul. And Melanie, let me just tell you, like, the girl, like, she crashed out. Like, she was not having it whatsoever. And it was like, girl, get it together. And it was just kind of ironic, too, because when Corbin came into the picture, she was so excited about Corbin. She was like all into it. And she was like, oh my God, he's like just so my type. Now she's paired with him and she wants literally nothing to do with it. Okay. She's not even sleeping in the same bed with him, whatever. I don't know if that's just because she doesn't want to see Soul and Sincere really sleeping in the same bed or what. But, you know, she just had a really tough couple of days of where she just could not get past that she wasn't paired with Sincere. But it's like, girl, he literally is telling you one thing. He's telling Soul another thing, basically just trying to really like play both sides so he doesn't lose either connection. You know what I mean? And it's like, when are you going to figure that out? I don't know. She was finally like starting to come around and explore something with Corbin. What's funny too, it's like she was really talking to Kenzie because they're friends and just being like, I just want to get the okay that I can explore this with Corbin, you know. Kenzie gives her the okay. What's funny about that is like Corbin was ready to explore with Melanie. He wasn't letting Kenzie hold anything up. It was really Melanie holding things up. But for Kenzie, she's like, Corbin, like he's it. He's the man. He's the Prince Charming. It's crazy. I don't know. I think I heard it's called Casa Amor or whatever, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but people get to review the season back and kind of see where like they may have been lied to. It's like, oh, or you said this and that. I don't know, but I can't wait for Kenzie to see, you know, that Corbin's like, he wasn't like being held back by any means, aside because like Melanie was the one that was like, no. Anyways, so we end up, okay, so Sincere, he gave his letter to Melanie, okay, the OG couple, whatever. So now they're back and coupled up. And Melanie reciprocated. She gave her letter to Sincere. So thank goodness she didn't take a chance on Corbin. Whatever. Anyway, so now they're back. And then Soul is being somber Soul. That's what I call her. I know she is really beautiful, whatever. But to me, like her energy is way too low. I don't know. She just seems so somber. And I like very just like a poetic, like looking out the window when it's raining and like writing in a journal type of vibe. Like I just don't think Love Island is the place for her. I just feel like it is just way too much, but she just always seems very just somber. And yeah, so we'll see. So with the results of all of that, Soul and Kayla are now coupled up. Okay. Everybody is like, oh, but I have high hopes. I am just really hoping that there is some bombshells that come in and swoop them off their feet. Soul, not so much like whatever, honestly. But like, I really want a bombshell in for Caleb and I want him to be like, oh my gosh. And I want that energy to be matched. And I just, wait, also, I love a little, you know, drama, pot stir, Puster, I'm also going to put this into the universe. I don't think this will be a hot take at all. I'm pretty sure everyone will agree with me. But if it is a hot take, here's my hot take. I want a bombshell to come in and rock Corbin's world. And Corbin jumps major ship over to that bombshell, leaving Kenzie hanging. And then she's like, oh no, oh no. And then tries with Caleb. But either Caleb develops his connection with Soul, which I don't think that's going to happen, or there's just another bombshell that comes in that also would be, a good match for Caleb. And then Kenzie's like, oh no, oh no. So it's like you had two, now you have none. And then the guy that you really put all your eggs in one basket for, he was so quick to leave. That would be my ideal scenario. Does that make me mean? I don't know. I don't think so. Makes me entertaining for sure. But I'm pretty sure everybody would agree with me on that. But that would just be ideal situation. So I guess we'll find out because I'm recording this on a Wednesday. There's nothing on tonight. So that's annoying. But I see people are voting for Caleb and Soul as like the new favorite couple just to kind of make sure like they stay safe, I guess, because no one wants Caleb to go home. I don't think there's much, like equity into Soul, and for her longevity, I don't think people nearly care as much. But yeah. So as a newbie, I am fully invested. I am really enjoying it. I'm sad that I started this so late, like season 8. Like I'm not going to go back and watch another season, prior seasons, but moving forward, I will be watching. So I'm excited to continue talking about this with you all. And then of course, we have Miss Sierra Miller being the host of After Sun. And let me just tell you, hosting is her thing. Like she is a woman of many talents. Let me tell you, like she does not need Summer House. So going off of Summer House, we have the bonus episode. The aftermath is what they call it. And call me crazy, but this bonus episode was just absolutely null and void. Now that we know that Amanda went to Italy with West, and I shouldn't say now that we know because we've known that she went to Italy with him, but I just got to say it, like all this bonus episode did was confirm that Amanda just loved the attention from West. She doesn't love West, dare I say. I just don't think that this gave us any additional information other than that, really, like truly. Like they just loved the idea of each other and the attention versus who the actual individual was. So, as you know, I for sure had to watch this bonus episode. I was not going to let Love Island stop me from making sure that I stayed on target, stayed on track with Summer House, the aftermath. I know we are all so tired of talking about it, and I can only assume I won't have much to talk on after this podcast episode drops about Summer House for the foreseeable future. So we're going to wrap this up with a nice little bow because I know I'm tired of talking about it and I know you're tired of hearing about it, but we really do have to talk about this bonus episode just because it does kind of tickle the itch a little bit, So we got 3 conversation, like major sit down scenarios. So we have Amanda and Lindsay, Kyle and West, and Sierra and Mayhop. Okay. I love Lindsay Hubbard. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She did the Lord's work really, truly, because she has Amanda come over to her apartment and she creates a nice, cozy environment, offers some rosé, give it a little drink. And, she really is just like, does such a good job. I mean, if there's going to be another single Bravo host for reunions or anything of that nature, aside from Andy Cohen, Lindsay Hubbard needs to be the one because she did such a good job of making Amanda feel comfortable to open up and be vulnerable while also being stern, telling her thoughts, not holding back. She wasn't like yelling at her or just like berating her, like calling her names or, cussing at her or anything like that. She was talking very stern. Like she said, a big sister. You need a big sister right now to kind of tell you what you did was absolutely terrible, but also asking her the questions, trying to understand Amanda's headspace, where she was coming from, giving her grace, but also just kind of like reminding her, you made terrible decisions and like now you have to deal with that. And she did a really good job at that. And like, I appreciate the conversation so much between those two. Like I thought it was really good. She just like had no issues with making things uncomfortable. Like you could just tell Amanda was like, thank goodness I can kind of get some stuff off my chest and kind of talk. And it's not in a space of there's so many other people around. Like it's just me and Lindsay in the comfort of her apartment. And we can kind of have just a more vulnerable conversation surrounding all of this. And, but I will say it's just like, it felt like we got through to Amanda, or it felt like Lindsay got through to Amanda. However, like I said in the beginning, it just doesn't even matter because she went to Italy with West, and we know that, you know? So it's like, had we not known that, had that not happened, there could have been some like forgiveness in the fandom or like a redemption or something with Amanda, because it looked like Amanda was really taking what Lindsay was saying to her, you know? She was just, I don't know. So it was really like frustrating in that regard. But when they're having this conversation, and one thing that I was like, I wish we dived a little bit deeper into that, because I feel like it was kind of glazed over a little bit. You know, Lindsay says to Amanda, like, West is saying to Sierra that you're obsessed with him. Like, you're the one that pursued him. Like, you're obsessed with him, always asking him to hang out. Amanda's like, what are we talking about? Like, are you kidding? Like, he said that? But it was just kind of like talked about and then not even brought back up. There's nothing like of a follow up of like, West, did you say this? Like, how perfect would it have been if she called West and would have been like, why did you say, like in front of Lindsay, why did you say this to Sierra? Why did you say that I'm obsessed with you? You actually were the one that was pursuing me, constantly asking me to hang out, XYZ. I don't know. I just felt like we glanced over that way too quickly. Like that piece, I'm just like, that should have been a click to Amanda. Like, oh my gosh, like he's telling people like it's me, like as if she didn't have enough signs. Like she just keeps getting more and she's just like, nah, it's fine. And it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, how are you still in good faith? Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go to Italy with West and you're getting that information. Like, I would have been like, all right, stop everything before we can even move further, Lindsay. Like, I am calling West right now to have him answer to that statement, because that's absolutely crazy. Like, that's not true unless it is true. And then she's like, oh, let's not dive further into that one, because dang it. But also, let's just say it is true. Why would he be telling like you, like we're in this together? Like, why are you trying to make me look bad? Like, we're in this together. I don't know. I thought that just got over, like we moved on way too quickly with that segment of the conversation. But I mean, Amanda's reasoning wasn't really shocking. I mean, you know, she just kind of goes into deeper about how she felt super lonely in her marriage. Like she didn't feel any love. Like she just felt like she was unlovable, all this. And, you know, Lindsay's like, yeah, all those things that you're saying and you're listing is valid. Like there's a validity to like the actions of, you know, wanting to go out and like having company from somebody else and, you know, they're giving you attention. It's like, you like that. The problem is who the person was. So, you know, like Amanda, you know, she's like talking about, she's just like, I just loved the love that West was making me feel that I wasn't getting from Kyle. So what I got from that is she couldn't cared less that it was actually West that was doing it. It could have been literally any Joe Schmo, but it was West that was giving her the attention. It was West that was giving her the little touches, the little texts of like, hey, let's all come out, like giving her the extra long hugs or like the forehead kisses, like those types of things. Like West was the one that was doing that, making her feel those feelings. So it was like, that's where her attachment and interest was like leading towards. It could have been anybody. So like, that's what I took from that. It's like, no, it's not West as a person. It's not him. It like, if anybody else did that, it wouldn't have felt the same. It was just that it was like, because it was West, it was so amazing. No, she just wanted attention from a man. And West was the one that gave it to her in the most vulnerable time of her life when she was going through so much. And unfortunately, West is the dirty dog in all of this. Like he's dipped his toes in Sierra. Like there was that whole shenanigan. Like he's had this relationship with Mayha. Like he's no stranger to playing women. And guess what, Amanda? He's played you as well. Like you're just another chess piece, like in his game of chess. And I don't know when she was saying those words, like, I don't know why that wasn't clicking to her. Maybe she just was saying whatever, like, she thought maybe Lindsay wanted to hear, whatever she thought would be good for the show. But that's basically the end of the day. Like, Lindsay's just like, like, what are your thoughts on all of this? Like, have you watched the show? Like, and Amanda says she hasn't. She hasn't watched the show. She hasn't been on social media. And Lindsay's like, I'm sorry, but you have to face the music. Like, you can't just dig your head in the sand, pretend these things didn't happen, because they happened. Can't ignore it. You can't run away from your problems. Like, they're going to come up eventually. Like, you need to get with it, type of thing. And you can't just like run away from it because you caused all this. And, yeah. And again, just kind of like reassuring her in a sense of like, her feelings were valid, but you just messed up so badly on the person that you picked to have this situation with. Because, Lindsay says, she's like, imagine fumbling this situation so badly. Like, you were winning, like you were on top. You had all the fans behind you. You have everyone rallying you and championing you. And that we forgot how terrible of a husband Kyle was to you and like in this marriage, because you just messed up so badly. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. But, she's just telling her like, hey, if I remember correctly, I think I saw an article basically saying like some of the stuff got cut, but pretty much just like, if you want a friendship with me, if you want anything to move forward in terms of like having a friendship, basically kind of giving her the opportunity of like, you can see a way out of this. Like, maybe not with Sierra, but like with other people, it's like, you can kind of maybe get to the end of the tunnel here. You just have to cut West off. Like, you have to knock that out, or knock it off. Like, I just don't see how you think West is going to be end game for you by any means. Like, you're telling Lindsay, oh, you had the conversations with West about like, he's going to be, like, if we're going to do this, like, there's got to be a future, like, there's got to be longevity to this. Like, just so you know, like, I do want kids, all of this stuff. You think West is going to be the guy that's going to step up to the plate? Like, he's going to be the one to protect your heart. Like, he's going to be the one that's like going to be father of the year, husband of the year, after all these things that you're seeing him do and things you're still finding out about. And then you're finding out that he's now running around telling people like, oh, like, it was Amanda. Like, she's obsessed with me. Hello. Like, I don't know. I can't even feel bad. It's like, you were really seeing like Lindsay's heart open for her and like, bleed out a little bit for her and like giving her grace and just kind of giving her an opportunity to be like, you can see yourself out of this. But then she just completely just shat all over it when she left to go to Italy anyway with West. And as far as I know, there's still like a thing. I don't really know. But yeah, so it was like, had we not known that they were still seeing each other, that would have been a really good segment. It would have been like, okay, like, Amanda's kind of seeing the bigger picture. Like, she left that conversation with Lindsay saying like she understood like Wes probably isn't a smart decision to kind of find myself again with. Like, I'm learning to love life again. Like, it doesn't need to be with West, and he's not going to be the reason. Like, maybe he can help me see that I am lovable and like there's more to life than what I've been living in, but like, it's not with him. You know what I mean? So that was that conversation. I thought it was really good. I think Lindsay did an amazing job. And then we get Kyle and Wes's conversation. Okay. And I mean, it's just kind of like the same old. Like, Kyle, he's just like trying to ask the questions of just like, when did this start? Like, are you going to protect Amanda? And we still kind of get the same old of West of, he's like, oh, well, like, I've loved Amanda for like a while, like blah, 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 blah. But I wouldn't say like I'm in love. Like, we haven't gotten to that point. And, you're just kind of like, all right, then what are we doing here? Like, Kyle is really more so on the stance of like, I'm not trying to win Amanda back. Like, that's not my thing. I'm not trying to necessarily even split you guys up. My whole thing is like, are you going to protect her heart? Like, she's been through a lot. Granted, I am the cause of it, but don't take advantage of her being so vulnerable. And I feel like Kyle, being good friends with Wes, like, he sees how he manipulates women and how he is just like this little womanizer. So it's like, he's just kind of knowing all those extra details. And it's like, oh, don't do that with Amanda. So he's really like looking out for her, which is just so ironic, just, given that they've had a terrible marriage and all of that. But yeah, he's really just trying to get a better, clear understanding. And West doesn't really give anything that's convincing as of like, oh no, like I am in love with her. This was when I started feeling like those really deep feelings. He's referencing like, oh, well, I said like I loved her, like whatever. And Kyle's like, yeah, like I say I love you to a lot of my friends that are girls because it's like a friendship, like a sister. Like you can throw out love kind of like whatever, like especially like in context like that. It's like, oh, love you, bye. But you're trying to say like you haven't thought of being in love, but you're doing all of this. I don't know. So it just, yeah, it didn't really like, I don't know. I would have thought there would have been a little bit more emotion with Wes because it was, like I said, less intimidating, maybe with a bunch of people feeling like less on attack mode, but it just felt like he was just very still emotionless and just not really convincing for anything. It just kind of seems like he's trying to convince himself of the situation, that he's into Amanda, that he really loves her, that this is serious, that he's committed to being monogamous. But I just don't really think that's the case. And then, you have Sierra and Meha, like I really appreciated their conversation. It wasn't like it was Sierra versus Meha. It was very much like Sierra and Meha versus West type of situation. And trying to get like timelines broken down of when this was happening on this, just a really like girl to girl conversation, like not against each other. So like, I really appreciated that. And like, I don't think Sierra would have definitely like, she knows like Meha's like not at the fault for that. Like she has no ill will towards her. So it was a good conversation to kind of just see Meha's side of it. I just thought it was really interesting because like after the reunion, Meha's gets a text from Wes saying like, you win. They've had a 6-hour long conversation on the phone after the reunion. Wes and Meha, I'm sorry, but it's like, Wes, like you're trying to prove to everybody that you are all in on Amanda and you have no idea why Meha like thought that you guys had this huge exclusive relationship, but yet you feel the need to like have to have a conversation with her, let alone a conversation that lasted 6 hours. Like you're not beating the allegations by any means. Like what on earth could you possibly need to talk about for 6 hours? Like I could understand like Meha just being like, I'm so confused. Like, what about this? What about this? But 6 hours of a conversation. And it's like, like West is like still feeling the need that he needs to tend to Meha and her feelings. It's like, he's just trying to like have his cake and eat it too. And making sure that he can like monitor all these different relationships and maybe kind of make things not be as big. So it's like, oh, I can kind of keep you in my back pocket if I need to. I really like, it's just crazy work. Like, I just don't know how he juggles so much. Like, how is he not exhausted by just trying to like keep up with all of these relationships and everything that he's telling these women and just like what the perception is to it, like the fans, America, whatever. It's just really terrible. And, it's like crazy that, he's just like, I don't know really how, like why she thought this or, she thought this, it wasn't serious. But then there's flashbacks of like up to 2 summers ago of this girl from Montana, Meha, like summer house clips of that being in the conversation. Like, sure, she maybe wasn't like a main topic, but it was talked about in conversations like very quickly. Like there was a mention of her. So it's like, she's been around for a while, and she's like telling Sierra, she's like, yeah, like when he would go film, like I would just stay at his apartment. Like I worked remote. Like it wasn't a big deal. She thought she was in on the secret. Like, he's like, we got to keep this a secret. She thought she was in on it. Like, ooh, like this is fun. This is hot. Like we're having a secret relationship just from like the fans and whatever, not because he's trying to juggle 20 other relationships like a psychopath. I don't know. I thought it was absolutely insane. But I just really love, like I feel like there's a dynamic duo with Sierra and Meha. Like I think there's a true friendship there. And honestly, there's nothing better than when a guy that screws over women and those women become really good friends, at the least. But yeah, so I feel like those conversations were necessary. But I mean, ultimately, like I said, it doesn't matter because Amanda and West, they're still entertaining each other. And again, I don't know if it's because they feel like they need to just try to see it as long as they possibly can because neither one of them want to look like idiots. That's my take on it. Like, that's why it's lasted as long as it has, is because now it becomes like, we got to prove something to people. You know, we got to prove to the fans. We got to prove to all those people that are calling us names and saying it's not going to work. Now it's like on a proving scale. Like, I don't buy for a second that it is true love, that they really care about each other and all of that. And I don't buy for a second either that Amanda was really like, oh, like West is my person. I think she loved the attention from him that she wasn't getting. It could have been anybody. He just happened to be the one to do it. But I mean, the aftermath bonus episode, I mean, it didn't really change my thoughts much on anything. It just more so further confirmation. Amanda really only cares about herself at the end of the day. Sierra was justified. Lindsay was right. And she needs to be a future reunion host. Kyle, you know, again, surprisingly mature and considerate of Amanda's well-being. Whatever that is, like, it's just kind of crazy, like how calm he's handled all of this. And then just every time West gets the opportunity to explain himself, like, he just makes himself look worse. And just, there's no redeeming qualities in that man. I hope every other woman recognizes that. And I hope he never lands a relationship again, because at some point this whole thing with Amanda will end. He's not the future husband of her. He's not the future father of her children. And she wants that. She wants that life. So hopefully she just like doesn't worry about what people think and proves everybody right and just breaks up with him, moves on, heals on her own, and finds an actual good guy. I don't think she'll ever get a relationship back with Sierra again, but whatever, that's besides the point. At this point, she just needs to get rid of West, because how do you go from one terrible husband to a really awful, horrendous, horrific boyfriend, you know? And I think Mayha deserves a spot on Summer House. If not, like a guest appearance here and there. And also, I have to say it, people probably will not agree with this, but I think West should have been on the upcoming season of Summer House. Make him uncomfortable. Granted, if Sierra is going to return, which I don't think she needs to, I don't think she should. I think she has way too many amazing opportunities in front of her. She doesn't need Summer House anymore. She doesn't need that paycheck. Like, that is behind her. And she has so many other things that she's got going for her that she's going to do. I say she shouldn't return. West needs to return to be uncomfortable, have to still speak to the actions and just conundrum that he's created. Like, why does he have to get off so easy? I know people are like, no, he does not deserve screen time. He does not deserve a paycheck. But it's just kind of like, oh, he gets to do all this damage. He gets to create and ruin lives. And then he kind of just now gets to hide, basically. Like, yeah, sure, he had to film a reunion and he had to do this bonus episode, but it's like now he like doesn't really have to speak to anybody. He doesn't have to answer to any of his actions. And it's like, I want to see how this is going to play out with Amanda. You know what I mean? Do we know if Amanda's returning? That I don't for sure know. But that would be amazing, I guess, if she returns and he doesn't return, she meets somebody else. I don't know. It'll all be very interesting. But I wouldn't be opposed to him going back. I mean, he's not going back, but I just felt like that just gives him an out just a little bit too easy. Not that I want to see that weasel on my screen or anything, that he deserves it, but it's just kind of like answer to all the hard-hitting questions. Like, this can't be done and over for you. Kind of like Tom Sandoval, you know? He had to speak to people. He had answer to people. He had to be in uncomfortable situations when things he thought were smoothing out. Then it was like, oh, no, we're going to have this conversation with a tough person, because it's like, you didn't just affect yourself or like one other person, like you affected a whole group of people. And now you get to just like move on and not have to deal with that anymore. I don't know. I think that's just a little bit too easy and kind of cowardly, if you ask me. But that's what I have to say on Summer House. That was the bonus episode, the aftermath. We can put this to bed, at least for now, unless something groundbreaking happens. But I think now we just kind of have to go on and focus on the city, which, so I guess there will be more, but I'm hoping that the city or in the city picks up some because I'm kind of getting sleepy. I'm getting bored. Lindsay says it's supposed to pick up the drama, the heat. So I guess we'll see. We'll see on that. But yeah, so those are all the main topics for today. I mean, that was definitely a mouthful. I feel like my throat is literally so dry. But before I wrap up this episode, you know I have to close it off with a chic and week of the week. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So my chic of the week goes to Lindsay Hubbard because I just think she really puts it all out there for us. She just really gets it done. You know, she asks the hard-hitting questions. She's even questioning Andy on the reunion of just like, I don't think we got clarity. I just feel like, you know, if anybody was going to have the sit down with Amanda, she was the one to do it. She was going to give the space to her, going to make her feel comfortable, but also say the hard things to her, ask her the hard questions, give her the tough love. And she did it so gracefully and chic, you know, like she is the ultimate chic of the week for me. And week goes to Kenzie from Love Island because I am so, I don't know, she's just making terrible decisions and her little quirks are not so cute to me anymore. And I just really wish she would have gave Caleb more of a chance, but she didn't. Whatever. I guess she's not wondering about what I want or what we all want. But I just feel like she's made terrible decisions and she started off as like a favorite of mine and then she's dropped way low and she's just ruining it all for Corbin. So that's my week of the week for that. Thanks for listening to The Drama Drop, you guys. Subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast and follow on all socials at the.drama.drop. And I'll see you guys on the next episode because somebody has to talk about it. Love you guys.